Within the Milky Way galaxy on planet Earth, humanity had grown a vast population that spread across the planet. While they thrived and learned new technologies, intelligence, and even began to explore the universe away from their planet, one event would change everything that they had worked hard for and reduce them to mere servants of a superior species. What was this event? Here we explore in the lore behind the 7-Hour War. In the New Mexico desert, the Black Mesa Research Facility was hard at work researching multiple areas of science. In the Sector C test labs, the team had been working with an anti-mass spectrometer to analyze the chemical composition of various materials. While the scientists had worked with this piece of equipment comfortably, on May 16th, in the early 2000s, the science team of Sector C were given a new sample obtained from the border world of Xen. With their orders, the team fired up the machine and their lab assistant, Gordon Freeman, moved the crystal into the beam of the machine. This moment changed humanity forever. As the beam hit the crystal sample, a resonance cascade occurred, ripping a hole in space, creating a rift between planet Earth and the border world of Xen. With this rift, Xenian lifeforms poured through into the facility, and over the following hours, portal storms appeared all over Earth, bringing the creatures of Xen to Earth's populated regions. Although the government had the Black Mesa Research Facility destroyed and removed all evidence of Black Mesa being the root cause of this issue, they did not expect the assault from various creatures that had come to Earth. Headcrabs, antlions, bull squids, and many other creatures had come to make Earth their home. As the general population was unaware of why these portal storms were occurring, some believed them to be a result of a meteorological consequence of climate change, while very few deemed it to be the fault of a failed science experiment. With these dangerous and unfamiliar creatures attacking those that they came across, the Earth population moved to their local cities for protection. While the military fought off these creatures, the portal storms continued, bringing in more creatures to the planet. While the human population and armies became weaker from fighting the constant wave of Xenian lifeforms, in Xen, the Combine, an immense interdimensional empire set on enslaving all sentient life and controlling the whole multiverse, had taken control of the border world. Observing planet Earth through the rift, they discovered another population to take over. With this, they entered Earth and the 7-Hour War began. Although not a lot is known about this brief war, newspaper articles explain that the Combine initially sent through projectiles from space, destroying major buildings across the planet, one of those stated to be the United Nations Secretariat building. With major military sites weakened, the Combine sent in an initial unit to begin the conflict, using the portal storms to navigate the planet and attack multiple regions at once, overwhelming human forces. In mass panic and confusion, members of the defense were unable to understand whether the Combine forces were simply unseen members of the Xenian population or something more intelligent and dangerous in nature. As the conflict grew, the government's ability to protect their respective regions quickly became stretched and close to breaking point. The Combine came in hard and fast, believed by some simply to be using combat tactics that had worked countless times before. Through the conflict, countless human lives were taken by the Combine. Using their superior technology and vast army, humanity had no hope in sight. With a clear defeat in sight merely hours into the invasion, Dr. Wallace Breen, the administrator of the now destroyed Black Mesa Research Facility, contacted the United Nations believing he knew how to contact the invading force, although he never revealed his method to the world. Believing humanity to be wiped out if they did not agree to contact the Combine, the United Nations, along with the entirety of planet Earth, gave Wallace Breen complete freedom to negotiate peace with the Combine and save humanity at any cost. It is believed that during the 6th hour of the assault, the Combine and Wallace came to an agreement, halting the worldwide assault, and entering the 7th hour, the negotiation stopped the death. This multinational surrender had saved humanity, but at an immense cost. While some praised Wallace for his role in saving his species, there were still some that believed Breen to have sold out his own race for power. After the war concluded, Breen appeared on a televised interview played to the masses to explain why humanity had to now submit to their new rulers, as this was the only course of action for survival. The day after the war, the newspaper, The Terminal, documented the events of the now known 7-Hour War, giving insight into whether Breen had saved humanity or sold them into slavery. The paper also attempted to gain information on what the Combine actually were. In the fallout of this brief war, the remaining governments attempted to care for their residents, alerting them not to leave their homes unless necessary and to rely on only their own food stocks before resorting to collecting from the already diminished food banks in their towns. While the circumstances humanity had fallen into appeared bleak, there were still members that believed that everything could turn out fine if they just followed their new rulers' orders. With humanity fractured and broken, the Combine were able to pick up the pieces and reorder them to take full control of their new acquisition. They declared Dr. Wallace Breen as their interim administrator to project Combine propaganda and keep humanity in line. The humans were then rehoused and moved like cattle to reorganized cities controlled by the Combine workers, while the land outside of these regions were mined for resources, turning them into inhospitable wastelands, now home to the remaining Xenian lifeforms that had created nests and began to populate. With no government or official armed forces, the surviving population of the 7-Hour War had to simply live a life of servitude to the Combine. While most agreed to this, some forces still openly attempted to fight the Combine to little success. The 7-Hour War is an event in human history that truly showed how everything can change in such a short amount of time, with the humans later having their reproductive abilities removed, their dangerous members assimilated into the Combine Empire in excruciating ways, and no hope in the near future to escape this awful existence. All humanity needed now was a secret resistance that could strike just as soon as the Combine became comfortable and complacent. I asked Resistance member, are you up to the challenge?